Welcome to this introductory session for Power Query. In this presentation, I will be briefly explaining you following things. What is a Power Query? How does it help a regular Excel user? How much time it will require a user to learn it? Does it really worth investing time and efforts in learning this? And many more questions. Since 2010, Microsoft is on fast track to introduce various features to the world's most favorite software, Microsoft Excel. Microsoft has introduced features like Power Query, Power Pivot, Power View, and Power Map. Initially, all these features were add-ins to Excel, but starting Excel 2016, these are all integrated into Excel itself. So if you are still using Excel 2010 or 2013, you would need to install these features as a separately add-ins. Microsoft has also introduced a separate standalone software, Power BI. This software includes only these features. It is just that it won't have grids like Excel. Rest all the features are almost same in this Excel and Power BI. Got excited? Now you might be wondering, how do I get these softwares? To answer this question, I have given all the relevant links on my blog site, datalyze.in, and download software page over here. So you can just click this links over here. You will be directed to appropriate Microsoft site from where you can download all the softwares. Now for this presentation, I am restricting my scope to briefly introduce you about Power Query and its feature. As an Excel user, you might be fetching data from multiple sources like text file, Excel file, Access files, web, database, and etc. Predominantly, you would be using Excel formulas or import data, VBA or SQL to get all this data into Excel and analyze it. Understanding and using these softwares had a steep learning curve. Sometimes for regular Excel users, VBA and SQL were little complex to learn, and hence users kept postponing learning those features. But no more with Power Query. Power Query was introduced with this main objective of making ETL activities easier to learn: extract, transform, and load. In simple terms, it helps in extracting or collecting data from various sources, then transforming or automating the data cleansing required before performing the actual analysis on the data, and finally loading that data into Excel or Power Pivot data model for further analysis. Power Query can also perform certain data analysis on its own without using Excel formulas or Power Pivot models. Now let's see what are the main advantages of Power Query. The first and foremost advantage is it's free. You don't have to pay anything. Yes, you have heard it right. You just install the appropriate versions of Power Query and start using it. Nothing extra. Next feature is its ribbon interface. Most of the commands you can perform just by clicking the appropriate commands from this ribbon interface. You as an A user do not have to remember any complex formula, SQL syntax, or any VBA coding. Just click it and get it. Thus, it makes easy to learn the Power Query features. Ideally, the time taken to master over Excel formulas, SQL, or VBA, or that matter any other software, is very long compared to Power Query. If you spend a week learning Power Query, you would become proficient in using almost 80 to 90% of its features, and its impact on your work will be tremendous. Until now, getting the data into Excel was restricted to very few sources, but no longer with Power Query. Using Power Query, you can use multiple sources at the same time and load that data into Excel or data model for further analysis. Just follow the steps, you get the data in tabular format, which is easy to analyze. And finally, Power Query keeps sequentially a log of all the automation tasks you have performed on the source data to get the final output. This is very similar to recording a macro, but it won't record irrelevant things. It's optimized as such, I would say. This log is editable and can be used as an audit trail in the auditing projects to understand things perform on the source data. And all Power Query and its logs are maintained within the same Excel file. You do not need to save this as a separate file. Just click normal save procedure in Excel and it will get saved. Next time you open an Excel file, you will get all Power Queries within the same file itself. Now, even though I have covered most of the prominent features of Power Query, it has many more features which can be understood only after using it. So without further delaying, let's get into action mode and have a look at the actual Power Query. So now I will be opening a blank Excel file and I am using Excel 2016. I have this text file over here. So let me open it. So this is the text file where I have a dummy data and I will be importing this into Excel using Power Query. So let's get started. I will be just copying the URL or kind of a path for this dummy data. Go to an Excel. In Excel 2016, it is stored under data ribbon and gate and transform. So let's click on new query from file, text file. Just copy paste this, select dummy data and import. And immediately you will see that it's connecting to that data and Power Query is loading the dummy data or initial 200 rows. So let's click on edit and get into the Power Query window. Now you can see that my dummy data has already been loaded into a Power Query. So let me first explain briefly about the interface which Power Query has. So over here at the top you will see most of the commands in the ribbon itself. So it has home, transform, add columns and view. On the left hand side, all the queries which you have generated in that Excel file will get reflected over here. This region is for the data on which you will be working. So ideally it will be the first 1000 rows will get displayed over here and not the entire data. It's more than enough while you are working with Power Query. And finally on the right hand side, these are query settings where you can name the query and as well all the steps which you will be performing will get recorded over here. So currently you can see there are 3 steps which are recorded. The first step is the linking to the source data. The original data was looking like this. The next step was promoting this first row as kind of a header, giving these columns as a heading in the first row. So immediately you can see this was given. And the third step is changing the data type for the first column and the amount column. So these are all recorded over here. So let me show you a little more examples what you can do in Power Query without using any Excel formulas, VBA syntax or any SQL as such. So just right click this column and let's duplicate it. One more time, duplicate it. Now I will just extract the months from this. Go to transform, month, and this column, year. Let's rename this or let us just combine these 2 columns. You can see that I'm not giving any of the Excel formulas or any of the codes. I'm just clicking certain commands from the ribbon and everything will get automatically reflected over here. So let's keep some space. And this merged column is getting reflected, month and year. So you can see I have given the name over here. Now I will be grouping this data based on the month and the department and for the amount as such. So let us select this month and department and click group by. So you can see the another window is open. Total amount, select sum. It's very intuitive. You can add additional columns as well. Click OK. And immediately you can see the totals are getting reflected by each department wise and each year wise. So if you want only by year wise, you can just again click on group rows, remove the department and click OK. So you can have by month wise as well as year wise what was the total amount. So this way you can perform the various tasks without using any Excel formulas or syntax, and everything will get reflected in your Power Query itself. And finally, you can just click on close and load. You will get this data into your Excel sheet immediately. If the raw data changes anything over here in the dummy data file, you have to just right click and refresh it. That's it, and your data will reflect the new changes as well. So as of now, that's it, like from my side. Thanks a lot. We will see you next time. Bye.